Right, we're recording.
Okay, good evening, everybody. This is the meeting of the Executive Cabinet Member for Culture Portfolio. Today is Monday, the 29th of September. Time has just gone 5:30. I'm Councillor Nadeem Ayoub, the Executive Cabinet Member for Culture. On this call, we have council colleagues and council officers. Okay, just moving down the agenda for today. All of them seem to be non-confidential items. First one is the monitoring of the executive cabinet member decisions. They have been circulated with the agenda. Anything that can come off, Vicky? We just need to
Yeah, I
note.
think the Albert Hall's theatre rig replacement can come off. It's now been completed.
Okay, thank you, Vicky. I know Councillor Fairclough asked a question last week about Rock Hall. We do have Sam on here. We have briefed the councils within the South region. For everybody's benefit, Sam, can we just give a quick update on Rock Hall and how that's progressing and what the next stages are?
Yeah, no problem. So we came to a natural end with our partnership with Banana Enterprise, and we've developed a new partnership with Lancashire Wildlife Trust, which builds on an existing partnership that the council has with the charity. And we've spent the past 6 months or so developing our second stage bid, which is due to be submitted to the lottery in November, early November. I've actually had a phone call with the lottery today, and lots of positive feedback. And the bid will overall, so taking into account the first stage plus the second stage, it's probably looking at £5 million overall, covering both stages. And if we are successful, we find out in April 2026, and in the in-between period, we will still deliver some activities up at the hall, which is currently open for meanwhile use. So on the whole, a positive update.
Thanks, Sam. Any questions on that from anybody?
No questions, just to say, well done, Sam. I know it's been a bit of a slog, I think, this really, but I'm sure it will be worth it in the end. I'm sure it'll do really well. Pleased that you're getting somewhere now, and I think maybe a little bit of an increase in the finances.
It is a little bit of an increase, yeah.
Great, thanks.
Okay, thanks. For the benefit of the meeting, that them decisions have been noted, Vicky. Okay. Item 2 is the Octagon Theatre grant. Sam, you're going to take us through this one?
Yes, thanks everybody, and I'll take it that the paper's read. So today I'm seeking permission to give the Octagon Theatre a grant of £145,380. This is a grant that we usually give annually to the Octagon, but what I'm seeking approval for is to give it to them over a 3-year period. The idea being that we give them some medium-term financial stability by offering a 3-year grant. So in terms of the Octagon, I'm sure many of you will know the organisation, but just to give you a little bit of an overview, they are a producing theatre in the town centre. They are highly successful, obviously commercially, but they also do a lot of work with learning, education and community development. They've recently commissioned reports which evidences they contribute around £10 million to economic impact to Bolton, and they also contribute heavily to preventative health measures too through all of their programmes that they deliver. They have a mixed funding model, so part of that is commercial through ticket sales and through hospitality. Part of it is public funding such as this, the Arts Council, GM Culture and other external funders, and part of it is through gifting and sponsorship. Their annual turnover is around £3.5 million. So they're a big organisation, and there's nobody of this scale or complexity of what they offer and scale in Bolton. So there isn't any issues in terms of competitiveness. So the grant contributes to their overall costs, but it isn't considered a subsidy because there isn't that competition. And I think that I work very closely with them and deliver lots of work in partnership with them. And there is such huge benefits to having Octagon in Bolton. To give you an example, we've just submitted £1 million bid to the Arts Council for something called Creative People and Places. As a local authority, we're not eligible to apply for that, but the Octagon have applied for it on behalf of a consortium across Bolton. They don't have to do that. They've done that for the good of Bolton. And I think that we should take that into consideration when, thinking about awarding this grant funding, because the benefit they give to the town is huge. So happy to take any questions.
Thanks, Sam, for that. I echo that. They actually do a fantastic job. That they do. So Councillor Fairclough.
Yes, I mean, I don't really have any questions. I definitely couldn't have put it better than you, Sam. They are a brilliant organisation. I think I think they're very, very useful to us, not just because they are the theatre, but because they put Bolton on the map. I do think that they do a tremendous job in all areas. I mean, obviously the theatre productions are excellent. But it's the things that they do that really perhaps less people see in a way, working with lots of different groups and certainly opening up things for people to do that they probably would never have dreamt of. I think they're a fantastic organisation, and I'd be willing to give them double, but I don't think that's on the agenda today. But no, I think they're really good. Couldn't praise them high enough. Thank you.
Thanks. Councillor Patel, you want to come in?
Yeah, thanks. I mean, obviously, I'll echo what everybody said in terms of the organisation and how good it is in terms of what it offers for Bolton. Just a couple of questions around the funding model. Obviously, it's, you've stated in the report that there's about £500,000 worth of savings from the NHS. So are the NHS providing any funding because of the savings that they're sort of receiving as part of the activities they do? Have they been approached? Is this something that we can look at for the long term? And the other question for me is really, I mean, yes, it's a good organisation, but we can't continue to keep on funding an organisation when we've got other organisations who are also suffering for funding models. So what's the sustainability and what's the exit strategy? Or are we just going to continue offering them a grant or a subsidy, whatever you want to call it? So just two questions really for clarity more than anything else.
Thanks. Go ahead,
no problem. So in terms of the NHS, as far as I'm aware, they don't receive any direct grant funding from the NHS. But I do know there has been some conversations about how the NHS might support them through donations made to the NHS that people make. So the NHS are very wary of taking donations for equipment that they then can't replace, in years to come, and thinking about actually funding more preventative models for health instead. So I don't think anything has been decided, but I do know there are some conversations going on where the Octagon may contribute towards that preventative work. And then in terms of the grant, so at the moment, there isn't anything on the cards around an exit strategy. But what I would say is that, yes, we give this fund annually, but I think that we also have to think about what that then contributes back to Bolton Town Centre. So as I mentioned, it provides £10 million in terms of economic impact into the town centre. And I don't think, certainly in the cultural sector, there isn't any other organisation that gets anywhere close to that. And I mentioned it earlier, but it isn't a subsidy because there isn't that anyone to compete against. So we do have other cultural organisations in the town centre, but there's nobody of the scale of the Octagon in terms of what they deliver.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions from anybody else? No. Okay, thank you for that. In that case, that report is noted and approved, Vicky. Thank you very much. And I think that It brings us to the end of the agenda. Can I thank everybody for joining, and see you all next time.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Right.